Hey guys, welcome back to another video, week in the life of a med student, and actually the last month of me being a med student technically. This is my last month as a med student in the hospital, clinical setting. After that, it's just straight vacation, and then I graduate. I will be doing a course called Transition to Residency that my school does, where we basically do like administrative thing, or we'll have a few lectures that are pertinent to transitioning to residency. But other than that, I will be done. So this is the last week of a life as a med student in the clinical setting, and it's super exciting. Right now I'm rotating at the rehab hospital on the Spinal Cord Injury service. I am having a great time. This is something I'm going to be doing as a resident, maybe as a future physician. It's in the field of PM&R, which is what, as you guys know, or maybe don't know, I'm applying into. And I kind of explain a little bit more about that, and I'll put that video up here-ish. As time goes on, I'll be able to share more about my passions and the fun things I experience with PM&R. But I know I've been gone for a little bit. It has been a really uneventful time. I have been on vacation, and uneventful is a good thing sometimes. I have been relaxing, working on myself in the gym, trying to take care of myself. There has not been much content that has been super interesting that I could necessarily warrant in showing you guys. I try to put content out there that is worth watching or some type of quality, but I know what people warrant as quality is subjective, and my point of view is not the only one. So if you guys would still tune in for more lax weeks in the lives, or just showing you guys kind of what I do outside of medicine in the hospital, I'm down to share that with you guys. I do other things outside of being a med student. I have lots of plants, I like working out, I have friends. So if that's something you think you might check out, make sure to leave it in the comments below, and I'll start getting worked on that if that is something you guys want to see. But with this week in the life, it's going to be a little bit different because obviously I'm in the hospital a lot. There's a lot of PHI in there, and I don't want to put the patient's privacy in jeopardy. So I'll kind of let you guys know what I do day to day and kind of the things I've seen and what I'm working with. So on Monday, that was the very first day of the rotation, and as you guys know from the other videos, if you follow me, that I usually don't film a crazy amount on the first day of rotations because I'm getting used to it. I'm learning what they want and what they want out of me, so focused on that in the first day. So Monday was just getting the hang of things. I have rotated at this rehab hospital before, so it's just getting reacclimated with everything, and it's really good to be back. On Tuesdays, we have team rounding in the morning. So what team rounding is varies from specialty to specialty, or maybe even physician to physician, but in most settings for rehab hospital, team rounding is when you get the occupational therapist, physical therapist, speech therapist, you get the neuropsychologist, the case managers, nurses, anyone that's a big crucial part of the team to kind of go over the patient's trajectory, any problems, anything that needs to be addressed. It's really just to give you a 360 view of the patient, and we all sit together once a week to discuss this. This usually runs from around 9 to 11:45, depending on how many patients we have. Because team rounds usually runs that long, we do rounding usually around noon as opposed to every other day. Normally it's around from 8 to 12 is rounds. So I usually have lunch a little bit later on Tuesdays, but nevertheless I will always get lunch in PM&R, which is a nice thing because sometimes in other specialties it's so busy that you might be limited to just snacks throughout the day. Wednesdays are more normal, like a Monday, so it's a basic day. So I come in usually around 7:45 to 8-ish. We start rounds at 8:30. That gives me enough time to chart check my patients, see if there has been any updates overnight or any issues that need to be addressed. Also looking at any imaging that we might have ordered or any complaints. A big thing in PM&R is bowel, bladder, sleep, pain. Those are things that people with brain injuries or spinal cord injuries or any other thing that might call for rehab need to be looked at from day to day. Brain injury, spinal cord patients often have really abrupt changes to their ability to hold their bladder or bowel. Without getting into too much detail, we always gotta make sure those things are in check. And especially for brain injuries, sleep is very important for brain recovery. So that's something we monitor a lot within the brain injury part of PM&R. When we round our patients, we go and check on all of them. One thing you will find in PM&R is that patients aren't always in the room, which is a good thing because it is a rehab hospital. So therapy gyms are on the first floor, third floor. They're everywhere in the hospital. It's a rehab hospital. So we often have to visit patients for a little bit during the therapy sessions. We try not to cut too much into that time because that's why they're there, to get better. It's really important for them. But we do go around the hospital quite a bit trying to find patients because they're often in the therapy sessions. Oh, my dog is here. She wants to say hi. Should we make an appearance? No? Okay. So once rounds are done, once lunch is done, usually at that time we're tying up the loose ends. Anything that needs to be done that we found out on rounds needs to get done. So if we need to put in orders for medication changes, whether we're up titrating, down titrating, removing a medication, whether we need to get imaging or any labs or anything like that, we make sure to put orders. If we need to touch bases with any consulting teams, PM&R is a very team-based specialties. And so most times that happens after we eat lunch in the noon hours. We also, from around 1-ish to 5-ish, are open to admits. Largely admissions will be around afternoon, so we'll go and check on a patient. A big thing that is important for spinal cord injury in the rehab setting is to get a good ASIA exam done. An ASIA exam is basically a classification of what level the spinal cord injury is at and a good classification of what kind of control they have over their body and what kind of sensation they have. So a lot of sensory motor testing. And it's not necessarily a prognostic factor, but you do have ASIA A, which is, that's the worst condition for spinal cord injury, and ASIA E, which is basically normal. Once admits are done, usually it is around the time to leave, but in between 1 and 5, while we're waiting for admits or tying up loose ends, if we have any downtime, we usually do some teachings or some lessons. So today, one of the biggest things we focused on are interesting ASIA exams or cases in which the ASIA exam might be a little muddy. And then after that, on Wednesdays, I usually go and volunteer at the Ronald McDonald House. If you guys have seen my other videos, it's something I really enjoy doing. By the end of that, it's pretty late at night, so I usually will get ready for bed and make sure to catch some sleep. Thursdays are one of my favorite days, actually, for personal reasons. It is lecture day, so at the institution I am rotating at, residents get lecture from 8 to 12 on Thursdays, and that's protected resident time, so any pages or any issues go straight to the attending, so residents can take the time to actually learn the topics that are being discussed in lecture. As a med student, obviously these things are a little bit over my head, but they are things that I can understand for the most part. At least like 90 to 100% of it is pretty clear to me. So, and the lectures have breakfast, which I'm a really big fan of, but in the mornings, I'm often trying to get as much sleep as I can, and I rush a lot. And so I usually will only have like a protein bar or a breakfast bar, but the lectures will have full-on hot breakfast, and it's really nice to be able to have that and learn at the same time. So Fridays are also a pretty normal day, but on Fridays, I usually like to try to make sure that I get everything that I need to get done for the week before the weekend, because usually with PM&R, you don't go in the weekend as a student. I like to touch bases with any residents or attendings or fellows for anything that needs to get done in preparation for the next week. I have a couple exciting other things coming up, like we have like med school prom kind of. I think we've had that in the past, I just haven't gone to any of them. So this is the first and last one I will be going to, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm gonna visit some friends soon, and we're closing in on match day, March 15th. We'll find out that Monday if we match or not. So, that will be a week that I'll film. I'm very excited for it. Also kind of nervous, so you'll definitely see some raw emotions probably, but I'm really excited for that. And you guys have been with me, since the sophomore year of college, which is crazy. It's really surreal to be able to have this moment for myself, for my supporters like you all, and for my family and friends. It's really like something I feel like was a team effort, and I really did feel and appreciate and love the support. But with that said, comment below. Actually, I'm interested to see if you guys have heard of an ASIA exam, ASIA exam. That's something I have not heard about until my PM&R rotation, and it's a pretty big part of spinal cord injury, actually. I'm also interested to know if you guys would like to see more outside of medicine videos, and comment anything else you want below, because I really enjoy hearing from you guys, and I can't wait to share more with you all. But with that, I will see all of you on the very next MedHead.